Hello. Today we're going to talk about how to get what you want. Hopefully, I can do a good enough job today to bring together all of the things we have discussed since we began. If you have something to write on, that would be good. And in a little bit, I'm going to ask you to pause the video. See if you can come up with 3 to 5 things you want in life. The timeline doesn't matter. These can be things you want right now, before you graduate, in the next 5 years, or just sometime before you die. Go ahead and pause here to make that list. Do you remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs? You cannot realistically hope to achieve something on one tier if you have not fulfilled the tier below it. Maybe you want to be a millionaire. Well, you're going to at least need to get a job then, right? You'll probably have to get a degree too, which means you'll need to study hard, which means you'll have to pay attention, which means you'll have to make sure you get enough sleep. Step 1 to becoming a millionaire: make sure you get enough sleep. Maybe your goals are not so high. That's totally fine, especially at your age. Most people don't find out what they want in life or what truly motivates them until they have covered the more basic needs on Maslow's triangle for themselves. When you begin living independently, you're going to start off with very little. So it may be a while before you have those things taken care of to the point where you can follow your dreams. But again, don't hold yourself back. Don't sacrifice your tomorrow for a comfortable today. Being on your own will be harder than living at home, but you will be better for achieving it. After all, nothing's worse than an overgrown bird who won't leave the nest. Get a job! Whatever the things you want in life are, how are you going to get them? How will you end up with a check mark next to everything on your list? 3 huge steps are going to be accepting that it will be a struggle and confronting it, not running away from it, accepting responsibility and not holding yourself back, and asking yourself if you are doing what it takes to get there. What does confronting the struggle look like? Well, I think motivation is a start, but perseverance is the biggest key. How often do we try something new only to get tired of it right away? My guess is oftentimes it's not a case of, oh, I guess I didn't like it, but more like, yeah, it was hard, so I gave up. We've all seen the analogy. A piece of exercise equipment turns into a coat rack. A musical instrument collects dust on a shelf. Hiking equipment disappears to the back of the closet. Quitting is for quitters. I said this in a previous video, but if you want to get good at something, then you're going to have to put up with being really bad at it at first. What does accepting responsibility look like? I think this is where motivation kicks in. If you think a paper or project that's due in 2 weeks means you have 13 days of freedom, you're not motivated. If you think, yeah, I got my whole life to finish this list, you're not motivated. That attitude will lead to you accomplishing nothing. Success only comes if you combine talent with motivation. Confronting the struggle will allow you to increase your talent, and motivation will make you successful. Kobe Bryant said of himself that he wanted to be viewed as a talented overachiever. He practiced as if he were the worst player on the team, who had to work harder than anyone else, or he would get cut. Nobody can do it for you. Accept the task as your own and seek out the great adventure of your life. Finally, what does asking yourself if you are doing what it takes look like? First, you need a conscience. Or rather, you need to use it. Your conscience doesn't tell you when it's time to eat, but it does tell you what you should eat. Problem is, we often let our subconscious self make that decision, and it loves food that's terrible for you. This was my big message from yesterday's video. If you don't pay attention, your habits will control you. Your conscience doesn't tell you when you're tired, but it does tell you when it's time to go to sleep. But your subconscious self would rather scroll through 3 years worth of your ex's Instagram posts. And next thing you know, it's 4 in the morning, you go to bed, you oversleep again, you go to work late again, and you get fired. pay attention to what you are doing. So, how are you going to check off the first thing from your list? You tell me. Thanks for watching.